Right.
All right,
Okay, I'm recording.
I got a nice can of Coke here.
I've got a little.
Been sat in the freezer for the last 45 minutes. It's a little bit iced up actually,
You know how to live.
which is always nice.
You know how to live, kid.
Which is always nice.
I've got a
Good evening,
little
everybody.
monster. Evening, Fezzy. Oh,
All right. Um. So while we just wait for everyone to roll in, although I don't think it will take long because a last minute call because of some stuff that's been going on. People are pretty anxious to know. So we're going to be talking about um, what the situation is with 3-day payouts, um, our opinion, what we're doing about it, and kind of what comes in the future. Uh, we won't really skate around much, so we're going to talk about it a little bit, and then if you got any questions, just drop them down below. And mainly, we want to just focus on that today, right? Not normal Etsy questions.
no. Let's talk about what everyone's been talking about. Right. This is all we're seeing. So let's get it answered and understood, and then everyone is on the same playing field. And when people talk about it, you know what to say to them.
All right. Just give it 2 more minutes. So everybody put in chat, or maybe someone can do a poll. Um, one, if you're getting 3-day payouts, and two, if you're not.
And do it within the last like 3 days.
Yeah, let us know.
Cheers,
Thank you,
Sharpie.
Sharpie. So it's one if you're getting them, two if you're not. Let's have a look.
Within the last 3 days.
Yeah, everyone make sure you vote because it's really important. We know.
From like Saturday, Sunday, today.
Let's see. Let's see.
So we got 3 people saying, yeah, they got 3 days. 7 people saying 14. It's been low
Yeah.
success rate though. Yeah, yeah. We'll go over it all, Sharpie.
Right, come on, guys. There's 34 of you listening. I want every single person to vote on that poll.
Well, some of them might not have made any stores the past 3 days.
Anyone that's made stores, make sure you vote on that poll because it's important.
1 out of 3 stores get 3 days. To Holy, is that since Saturday? Haven't made any stores yet. Jesus. Can't vote to
I'm
do
voting on make
stores.
stores. All right, cool, cool. All right, let's just run into it. So, yeah, we've been having some reports over, yeah, probably about since Saturday, since the weekend, that people who were previously able to make 3-day stores were struggling to. Um, Now, me and Jamie are obviously always making stores for our operations. We work with some people in the Discord, and we have replicated some of those problems. Generally, we have a pretty good track record. We get 3-day stores basically every time, give or take. Um, and we've also had some of these issues as well. Um, we've also seen a lot of reports on like social media, on Reddit specifically, and 14 days. My friend has got 3 days. Made a store last week. What's the crack? Um, and so it does definitely seem like Etsy are testing something or they've implemented some kind of change. Uh, and it's one of those things where it's quite difficult to know because it's just kind of happening. Um, but no, it's not over. Uh, like if people are moaning about this on social media, and these are normies,
Good.
it's a big deal, and it can cause a lot of turmoil. I mean, we saw what happened with order reserves, like a few months ago. Was it like last year or something? I lose track of time.
Yeah, God
And
knows.
it was chaos, and they removed them or like lowered them down massively, right? And it's the same thing here. Um, if this is happening, and if Etsy do plan on rolling this out, which I think is like suicide, to be honest, I don't see in what world this will ever last.
Well, like we were saying, they're trying everything they can to not be Amazon or eBay, right? Yet they want to kind of pick and choose what they take from Amazon and eBay, right? Like with those platforms, you have to wait long time to get your money. But Etsy doesn't want to be in that field. Etsy want people, really taking care, putting into their products, making things with love, doing everything nice and in house, keeping it clean, like a small. It's like your auntie doing it. Your auntie Gertrude isn't going to wait 2 weeks to be paid her $5 from the beaded bracelet she made, right? It doesn't make sense.
No, no, it doesn't make any sense. So the likelihood of this sticking around, if it is a thing, is just astronomically low. Like we're Etsy's customers at the end of the day. Even if you feel like you owe Etsy, they owe you.
Mm-hmm.
Without you, they don't exist. And customers leaving the platform or not signing up in general is a pretty big L. And you know what we've seen in the last month or so, that Etsy really is it's kind of back. Like I don't like to say we're back. We're so back a lot, but it's kind of back. Just like ban rates across the board are really low. The competition has massively died down. It's just a great platform to be in and to be selling on. And this has thrown a bit of a spanner in the works for some people. But there are, it's always important to like worst case scenario things, right? Let's say it's GG, and let's say, yeah, exactly, Fezzy, right? It's so over, we're so back. We were so over, but now we're kind of back. And now we're over again. It's like, oh god. But it's like worst case scenario, because that's an important thing to evaluate. Like, what is that, Jamie?
Worst case scenario. What if 14 days?
In terms of like, if 14 days stick around, what are we gonna do?
I mean, what we have in the works is what you should actually do on 14-day stores, right? Because 14-day payouts don't last forever on stores. They look at your standing, right? If you look at, I'm gonna have to find the link for this now, but they say these 14-day payouts can last anywhere from 90 to 180 days, depending on store standing. So you can't just make a store, it's 14 days, let it sit, 3 months later it's 1-day payout. But what you can do is you can play within TOS. You can run, a store within TOS, whether it's POD, whether it's Digi, whether it's God knows what. Maybe you're doing stuff in-house. And then you're going to get 1-day payouts. And it's absolutely primed. So if you were to get a 14-day store today, start working on it as a Digi, right? 90 days later, it's end of October, you've got Q4 to play with. So it's all about playing in within the TOS for as long as you can to prime the store and then turn it into whatever you want. Worst case scenario is you just have a bit of delay on your stores.
Yeah, it's not so it's over as people fear. Like, just because you might have delays doesn't mean you can't make money. Like, it's not that deep. Yes, it sucks if it was to happen. But like, what do you think me and Jamie are gonna do? Do you think we're just gonna pack up Etsy now? Bye. Like, that's not gonna happen. There are always solutions and things to implement and opportunities. There always are, and they are of what you make of them. So, I suppose in terms of what we're doing, we're looking to test this pretty thoroughly. We stopped really testing the whole 3-day thing because it was pretty concrete, and we were just testing as we went along, like naturally when opening stores. But we're going to bump up our testing operation across our entire team to get some very solid statistics, which we'll give you guys data on. hopefully this week, but it might take longer. We'll see. And I'm gonna try and get an official statement from Etsy. We have some people, some connections. We'll leave it at that. And we're gonna try and get a statement through that. And I'm also gonna try and get an official statement. And I'm also keeping an eye very closely on social media, see what normies are saying, how they're reacting. Because what's that stupid bitch called? That does all the Etsy videos that cries all the time.
Oh, the fucking her and her boyfriend or something with the
Her
green
and a
hair.
boyfriend. Starla,
Yes.
yeah. Fucking ZZM.
Yeah.
If we
Sounds like a porn
want to keep
star.
an eye on them, really. Exactly. We
Yeah.
want to keep an eye on them because she's very vocal and she runs. She works very closely with E-Rank, I believe, and she's all about selling on Etsy legitimately, which is her loss. But um, she has a huge audience, so she's gonna onboard a lot of new Etsy people onto her program, and she's gonna figure out very quickly if there's a problem. And even if you're playing exactly by TOS, we know that Etsy like to ban you for no reason, and we also know that people should not be getting 20-day payment delays when they're hand making an asset. Like, that makes no sense at all.
No. No.
Like, at all.
I mean, the other thing that we can kind of do is create artificial outrage to try and spark the conversation further, right? If you've got a Reddit account, make a Reddit post about it. If you've got a random Twitter account, tweet about it. Talk about it on the forums as if you were a legit seller, and try and get more people understanding what is going on. Because it's a bit of a difficult spot, right? Where the people on Etsy now who have got 3-day payouts and they're all legit, they won't really give a shit. But for the new people that want to come to the platform, and they're looking at the likes of Starla Moore, and they're reading the forums, and they're trying to figure out how to sell their beaded bracelets, and they're now being told that, you've got 14 days to wait for your money instead of 3. Massive difference, right? It's not like they just increased it slightly. It's going to really put people off.
Yeah. So I'm gonna share my screen very briefly because I want to walk through something with chat. Let me just make sure I'm not doing anything
It's a
bad on here.
Twitch streamer.
Let's see. All right, let me close that. Bear with me.
Putting people off is their goal, though. No,
I mean, it depends your perspective, right? We can talk about that in a sec, but let's go over this first. All right, cool. Right, I'm gonna share my screen now. Let me know if you can when you can see this, guys.
yeah, it's
Can we get yays in chat, please? Okay. So this was 13 hours ago by Carrot390. 14 hold on money. Hey guys, I recently made an Etsy shop and got my first sale on Etsy, and they say they're going to hold the money for 14 days. This is really confusing, as my friend is also a seller, and she said she only had a 3-day hold when she started her store. Had this happened to anyone else, I'm a small business, 14-day hold would seriously kill any chance of online success, as I don't really have much money to put forward towards my Etsy business if I get a lot of orders. And yeah, you've got this random person who's got no clue what they're talking about. There are a bunch of zombies here that are stupid. But I mean, there's nothing really useful in the comments. But the point is here is that these kind of threads are popping up, especially on the Etsy seller forum, which is really interesting because if you remember when we had the launch of 14 20-day payouts, there wasn't much information out there. Nobody was talking about it. But this has clearly happened like yesterday or the day before, and already I've seen 4, 5, 6 threads. So this is affecting everybody, which would make us believe that it is something they're testing or trying out. And we're kind of we'll kind of see how that plays out, I suppose. But in terms of the other question, putting people off as their goal, like it is, but it's also not. Like Etsy need. There's a very balancing act. There's a huge balancing act. If they you have to understand that 99% of people on the platform will never make a sale. So for Etsy to onboard a bunch of new sellers, yes, it is very expensive from an operations perspective because they're basically just hiring digital real estate people who aren't going to do anything. And it will be an incentive to keep those people away because they're time wasters. That's what they are. That's all they want is your money. And part of the reason for that is definitely this £11 fee, this £10, £12, £13 fee. I know it's fluctuated a little bit, but that's definitely a reason, right? Because if you're not serious, you might not sign up. But generally speaking, they're a business, and the only way businesses grow is by scaling. And they probably prefer buyers. Like if they're going to do like a targeting campaign, they'll definitely prefer buyers because the sellers already exist. But they still need sellers.
It's
So
like what I always say. Like if someone comes to Etsy looking for X, they can't find it. Chances are when they want to find Y, they're not going to look at Etsy. They're going to look at Amazon first. They're going to look at eBay. Right? They're going to just go on a random e-com site. You know, so if they can't find that first sale for, you know, a new potential customer, it's as well as lost.
yeah,
The other thing is on this page here where it's about your funds aren't scheduled to deposit yet. But they say if you're a new seller for your first 90 days, your funds will generally be available for deposit 14 to 20 days after a sale, though it may take longer depending on the specific standing of your shop. They've had that for a while, even when 3-day stores were, you know, a lot easier to get. So they're starting to use this wording, but it's like they said if you're a new seller, it's only 14 to 20 days, but it wasn't. They like to say one thing
no,
and another's going on.
yeah. It's kind of like expect the worst, potentially get the best,
Yeah.
right? If they say it, then you can't be like, oh, it doesn't say it anywhere. No, it does.
Mm-hmm.
And it also removes kind of like this favoritism. But I mean, that's what we see. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing, um, when this first happened, all those months back, it felt like it was over, but then we quickly realized, hey, it's not. Right? It was never over. We're actually so back. It put a massive wedge between noobs and vets, which is really good. Key players in the game, which was awesome because you would have noticed if you're making money on Etsy, it's probably got a lot more. That's just how it's gone, and that's great. But I guess we'll keep researching this. We'll keep seeing what the crack is, and if this is here to stay, um, then we work around it. There are lots of other things to do on Etsy. Like there's absolutely no way that like we are just going to drop off if this is a problem. There are 1,000 things you can do on the platform. I'd like to drop ship, right? We like to drop ship. That's what we want to do. But you play the cards that you're given.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is that this is kind of lined up around the period where deposits aren't being sent by Adyen. They're being Etsy, was it International Island Company or something. So it's like
Yeah.
Etsy might be like trying to process payments themselves, right? And they're probably noticing, oh shit, we're not too. The insurance on this ain't great, right? We're not getting those Adyen perks. We're kind of out of pocket here. Trying to play the balancing act, realizing this route
Yeah.
they're going down is not the one they went down. It was very rushed. It wasn't very calculated. Oh shit, we fucked up here, boys. We thought we'd
Yeah.
save a bit of money because now we're processing payments. Now Adyen doesn't have our back. Fuck. Shit, now no new buyers are coming on the platform. Now we're back in the news. There's outrage.
Yeah. It's a very tricky time for them,
Mm-hmm.
especially when big tech companies they're not reporting the same profits they previously had after the COVID bubble.
Yeah.
You know, all these companies have gone down in revenue.
At the end of the
So
day,
it's important.
big Josh Silverman has to speak to the directors, has to speak to the shareholders, and tell them why money hasn't why share price has gone down, why as much money hasn't been made. And when they start coming out with these bullshit answers, going, "Oh, we care about creativity," shareholders are going to go, "Fuck you. Where's my money?" Right? Because that's all they care about. The investors don't care about people's creative freedoms. You don't invest in a
No.
company for people to create beaded bracelets. You invest in it for money.
Yeah, definitely. So does anyone have any questions about the stuff that we just mentioned? Or does that all kind of make sense? Just about this very specific topic, not about general Etsy stuff today. What are you doing differently to get 3 days pretty much all the time? Well, we were getting 3 days pretty much all the time. We're not now. We've had problems. Um, I mean, that's kind of irrelevant now. I can still explain it. So are all new stores getting 14 to 20 days now? No, no. It seems very up in the air. We've had reports that some stores like have opened fine, and we've had reports that 14 to 20 days is rolling riot. It's definitely more 20 to 14 days. Um, yeah. So I guess we'll just see. You know, give us a bit of time. And the same thing that we requested when this 3 day thing came up originally. Um, massively encourage everybody to do the due diligence and actually put in some effort and try and work on this alongside us. Try and find data points. Try and think outside the box, because we have a huge testing operation, a huge testing network that we've developed very, very hardly for like the last few years. But it's you don't always get everything.
No.
So make sure that you're testing, thinking outside the box, being relentless. You might just be the main character in the movie. And if you figure anything out, drop us a message, and we can sort something out.
That's it. That's it. When a lot more people are testing things, it genuinely gets solved a lot quicker. The other thing too is create a bit of noise. Do some Reddit posts. Ask the question. Don't be bait with it, right? But just get more people talking about it, more people seeing it. Because Etsy's trying to now just they're just so fucking sly, right? They're just, we'll just roll it out. Hope no one notices. Like, some people have been reporting they've had 50% order reserves, some back to 75% order reserves. Etsy don't mention that anywhere. They're just sly with it. They just roll it out and hope no one says anything. Hope it doesn't blow up in their face. And we want to make it blow up in their face. Like, we want to put pressure on them like they put pressure on us. They're constantly putting pressure on us. So if all we have to do is create some fucking Reddit threads, talk about it on, don't be bait with it. Don't just smash out 100 fucking threads in a day with the exact same shit. But just reply to people on Reddit, right? Make a couple threads. You want to start your business. You're already on Shopify. You want to come to Etsy. You got 14 days. You can't do it. Blah blah blah. We're like
Yeah.
those. We're like the Russian engagement farms that they're all on Twitter. That's what we are. We're the Etsy fucking farms.
They care about it. They have 1.5 on Trustpilot. I mean, they do. They actually do. Get fucking BBC on the line. Who was it that broke that story? Was it Sky News or BBC?
It was fucking one of them.
Before.
I don't know.
Somebody send BBC an email. Let them know. But yeah, that's the crack, guys. Not really much more to say on it. We've talked about mitigation techniques. Well, I suppose I'll say this. I really hope you listen when we said months ago, get to making as many stores as humanly possible. I know Sharpie did, because this is the kind. If you were proactive and you recognize that things aren't static, they're dynamic, and things change as they should, then you will have lots of stores ready to go, and this will not hurt you anywhere near as much. So, to the guys that haven't been doing that, you're going to have to sit and wait, unfortunately, and play around with those 14, 20-day stores.
But that's it. We do have things in the works for those stores. I mentioned that in the last Diamond call. So they're not just sat there. You can work on them. You can have them getting sales and ready to be primed. And maybe you don't even want to turn them into a dropshipping store by the time they get one-day payouts, because they're doing well selling digital products or POD or whatever you choose to do, right? But if you have a back pocket full of 3-day stores now, you're golden, right? Because your competition's going to be thinning out. You're going to have these army of stores, and it's ripe for the picking.
Yep.
They always do this stuff in summer. Yeah, they're just prepping for Q4, right?
Yeah, that's all they want to do.
Risk.
Just risk management strategies in it. I mean, I said at the start of the call for people that weren't in here, this literally might be solved by Monday. You know what I mean? Like, nothing's in writing, nothing's concrete. There is a huge mix of information coming out. It's created fear. For everyone that's talking about it, how many people don't have this problem and they're not saying a word?
Mm-hmm.
So, just chill out. We'll figure it out. Like I said, if you are a tester, I know there are a lot of testers in here. Let us know. What are you testing? Let's make this a community effort, because there's a reason why Etsy Mafia solved the 3-day original problem so quick. Right? No matter what any neek tells you on fucking Twitter, these soy boy wannabes, okay? Nobody knew until we published it. Alright? And that was a big effort, and it was a big help from the community and our testing infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
So let's run it again.
Exactly. Easy fucking peasy. I'll get my Jeets to spam test. I'm the Jeet. Good lad, Capo.
All right. I have nothing else to say about that unless you do.
No, not really. Just it's kind of the time now to prove your worth to yourself, right? Because when times are easy, life's easy. But when times are hard, it's when you fucking prove yourself and you show that no matter how bad things get, this is the life you're meant to have. This is what you're meant to do. You can solve anything. You can rely on yourself when you need to.
Yeah. Remember when these first came out and everybody said it was GG, it's over. I remember we had a call talking about it and the atmosphere was dire. And you know when the atmosphere is dire because every fucker joins the call, but chat is dead.
Yeah.
It's the same on like Twitter, right? You're talking, you're posting, and the engagement rates just drop off the cliff. Mm-hmm. That's how you know when people are scared. There are a lot of views, but nobody's liking or commenting. But everyone likes to talk when things are going great. So, yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Any last minute questions about this specifically?
What's the best advice for a newbie?
What is the?
Yeah, I would wait for the resources that are coming on those type of stores to get into, and I would run with them. But like you said, something could change tomorrow. Something could change next week. Something will change, and when it does, we figure it out and we put it in the Discord. It's easy as that.
Yeah, let's. Did you talk about specifically what these new resources are?
Yes, yes. I explained that we want to introduce a POD section that's not typical POD. It's, do you want to explain it further?
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
explain it before,
Well, we
but
can end on this. So the new resource that I am making is think about it. Yeah, it's like POD, but not typical POD. So the reason behind it is it means that regardless if you get 3 days, 14 days, or 20 days, it's still very viable. And because you're still operating within TOS, like you're not going to get banned, and if you are, you get unbanned. Um, and basically, it's built around concepts of like gathering real world data and applying it to your store and having frameworks and setups where you can plug that into Etsy. It's like you could think of it as following trends but on steroids. So a really good example of this recently was when when future President Trump got shot. Uh, I don't know why I said that so officially. When Trump got shot, there were a lot of people that very, very quickly jumped on that bandwagon and they made tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the reason why they were able to do that is not because they just jumped on Canva or Gelato or any of these POD things. It's because they had templates, they had operations set up, and because they were smart.
yeah.
3 products on
Oh, you broke
that are
up there a bit
absolutely
there.
locked in. I broke up.
Yeah.
Which part?
Um, templates.
Yeah, it's about having templates ready to go. They're ultra optimized. Um, so it's as simple as slapping something in and running it up.
Mm-hmm.
We've had tremendous success with this. Um, there's no reason why you can't do it, and it's really the perfect time to bring it out. And I'm going to be showing in the video where to get these new sources from and how you can kind of plug SEO in with that and how you can target certain demographics. It's pretty high level stuff, but once you get it all sorted, it will be very quick, almost automated, and it's most importantly high profit margins and completely within TOS.
One of the
So
things
it's pretty banging.
one of the things that I think people struggle with that, right, is something breaks, right? Oh, Donald Trump attempted assassination. Their first thought isn't fucking our merch. Let's pump it out. Let's find photos. Let's get the artwork. Let's get this boom 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 merch, right? Like, people understand that this huge breaking thing has happened, but then they don't put 2 and 2 together to go and capitalize on it, right? Like, a lot of people know that they should capitalize on situations like this, but when it happens, something else is going on, or they just simply forget.
Yeah. People's first opportunity or first awareness of big news is to talk about it with their friends,
Yeah.
and that tells you a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do this same shit on Shopify, by the way. Um, I know a lot of people that have ran products based on events in the world that have done extremely well, but you can also do it on Etsy. And if you want to use and capitalize that Etsy knowledge that you already have,
Yeah.
so that's an example of something that's coming. It's actually recorded. I just need to do the final part, but I can't think of a better time than now. So, yes.
Yeah. There's also
All right. Shall we?
digital stuff
Oh, okay.
coming. I won't go too in depth into it because it's a bit fucking complicated. But yeah, there's going to be the POD stuff and Digi stuff both being hit from brand new areas, right? That ain't just the traditional route.
Yeah. And the point is that you can take these stores that have 14, 20 days, if this is a problem, and now they're not just, because you spent money on them and time on them, there's no point them sitting AFK doing nothing, gathering dust. And if you build them, then yeah, you can continue them if they're successful. But if you want to swap them out, they'll be riped just in time for Q4.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you make stores today and launch them, what did you say earlier? End of August.
It'll be the end of November. No, it'll be the end of October.
End of
Now.
End of October. Sorry, yeah, October, not August.
Yeah. Ready for
Yeah.
November. Boom.
All right. Should we wrap it?
Yeah, let's end it there.
All right, cool. Appreciate you guys. Keep your eyes open.
Yeah. Keep testing.
All right.
Keep posting about it. And let's fucking smash it.
Jamie has rugged. Can you hear him?
Oh.
There you go. You're back.
Are we ending it?
Yeah, no, you what you said didn't come through.
Oh, I just said keep testing, keep posting online about this new bullshit updates and get the word out and fuck them.
All right, fuck him. All right, see you later, guys.